Hello and welcome in. Greg Smith, senior recruiting analyst here at Inside Nebraska, and I am joined by a very special guest, Nebraska quarterback commit Daniel Kaelin. Danny, how are you, man?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great.
Good. Hey, I appreciate you being on, man. I know it's been a crazy time for you, which is why I actually wanted to hop on a video with you and kind of talk through some of the things that have been going on because it feels like, I mean, we could talk forever. We won't, but we could talk forever
Yeah, for
about the
sure.
things that are happening with you. So I want to start here, man. As you went out to California for Elite 11, first of all, congratulations on even going out there. Second,
Mhm.
congratulations. I know you won that most accurate
Yep.
situation out there as well. So just kind of walk me through your thoughts on the Elite 11 camp and how that went for you.
Yeah, really just generally in a whole, the experience was incredible. I've been saying a lot lately. It's something I've been looking forward to for a long time. I can remember it was probably around sixth grade when I first started kind of playing quarterback and seeing, the stuff they put out on YouTube of all the quarterbacks that went through, whether it's Trevor Lawrence, Tua, and just down the line. And just overall, it was, like I said, an incredible experience. I met so many new people, incredible people. I have great connections now that I didn't have before. I feel like the QBs out there, we made kind of a special bond, and we'll definitely be in touch. Moving forward for a long time, and obviously also learned a lot. And I think I competed out on the field and threw pretty well. So just overall, it was a great experience. Had a lot of fun.
Good. It's awesome. I know Nebraska fans are really excited to have their guy kind of out there
Yeah,
representing the
yeah.
school. And then he went out there and showed out on the field. So that's always awesome. And then kind of after that, obviously, you had your official visit this weekend to Nebraska,
Mhm.
along with what I think 13 or 14 guys,
Yeah, it was a
13
lot of
other
guys.
guys. There were 14 total. And so one of the things I wanted to ask you, and that I usually ask committed guys going into these weekends, this is how was it different? Because you went, obviously, you've been there a bunch. Like it feels like
Mhm.
every week. I'm always joking that you're there all the time. Is that how was that visit this weekend for the official different than some of the ones you had previously taken?
I think this weekend was different, especially in the way that I felt like I was almost like another recruiting coordinator up there. Half the guys that were there were already committed. Isaiah and Devon, we already knew coming in. They had already,
Mhm.
told the staff. So I just think, as far as the guys that were there that weren't committed, that was a big part of me. Just not to push them. I think those guys, like even with Carter when I took him to the College World Series, like we're all like good friends. Like it's not like I'm
Mhm.
trying to like recruit them. Like I'm just trying to build a connection with them. Obviously, would love to play on the field and be teammates with those guys, but all in all, I've just been trying to build a connection and just get as close as possible with those guys and make them feel at home. And then other than that, like I said, I just think with all the guys there, it just made it more fun. The whole staff, all the recruiters there, and then obviously the recruits. I just think overall is just a really fun time, and I think there's going to be some good news being announced throughout the week for sure. And but yeah, it was great to be around all those guys.
And it's funny. You a couple of interesting things I'll drill into there. The first thing is the building the connections is what you mentioned, and I feel like
Mhm.
I talk to almost everyone that comes through, right? And I was trying to the thing if I had a thought bubble, or a word bubble for the thing that got said the most this weekend, it was
Yeah.
connections,
Hmm.
brotherhood, family. So can you
Yep.
take us inside of that a little bit? What do you think it is about this group of guys and this staff that kind of promotes that family and brotherhood? Because like I said, we've heard that a lot.
Yeah, and what I think is cool is I think somebody else told me that in a lot of their interviews with some of the guys, family was mentioned a
Mhm.
bunch. And I think Coach Rule mentioned it in one talk, but it's not like they talk about it all the time. They, they
Mhm.
they're really about it. And I just think it starts with the staff, just how genuine they are. They don't switch out depending on who they're talking to. They're real, they're truthful, and they really are like the whole team is like a brotherhood. I also think a big part of this weekend is just how much some of the players were around, and we could talk to some of those
Mhm.
guys. And I just think the way that they talk about how it's been this first 6 months, and even some of the transfers like Jeff and Billy were talking about how they feel like they've been teammates for years now, and they've only been together for 6 months. So I just think overall, as a team, as a staff, they're genuine, real people, and they truly make it like a family atmosphere because they don't just care about on the field. Obviously, that's probably a big priority, but they're big into how are you doing off the field, how I'm trying to get to know you as a person. And I think that really as far as recruiting, but even more just for the overall team, it really hits home for a lot of the players.
Right. Yeah. And one of the things too is that caught people's eye over the weekend is a handful of you guys tweeted out a photo of you guys kind of in a huddle, right, on the
Yep.
field. So a couple of
Yeah.
questions on that because it was all of the Nebraska kids, right, that were all in
Mhm.
that huddle. So like, whose idea was that, and how did it come about? And then did you say anything special to those guys while you were in that huddle?
All right. So like we knew coming in since we had so many guys, we took a few other like group photos like
Mm.
of everyone there. But with the amount of stations like we had to take pictures at, and we had like a 2 hour window, but there were a lot of places to take pictures, and we had dinner
Okay.
at 8. So like by the time we got to the field, which was the last thing, we wanted to take like a really big huddle picture. But some of the other guys were already done and stuff. So I think it was all the in-state guys. Carter's the only one that was uncommitted that was in the huddle. But I mean, in the huddle, I like made up a random play call. We were kind of just messing
Right.
around, and then we like broke the huddle, lined up, and like that was a lot of fun. But that picture was definitely cool, and it was something we were planning. Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. On our message board at the Insiders board, somebody actually said that picture hit different, and another person I thought made a great point. He was like, I feel like that's one that will be in guys' man caves in the future, because
Yeah.
it was just a really cool photo to kind of see that all
Hmm.
come together.
Yep. Hopefully that'll be a picture of a bunch of future Husker stars in the future. So yeah.
There you go. So I guess switching kind of since that picture was taken on the field, something on the field that I wanted to ask you about, because it feels like we talk so much about your peer recruiting and about kind of your
Hmm.
journey through this process. I feel like I never asked you anything about what's happening on the field. So did you
Yeah.
get a chance to actually kind of sit down with Coach Satterfield, and kind of talk about kind of what's going on with the offense and how they see you kind of fitting going forward?
Yeah. So all the offensive guys that were there, we had a full offensive meeting with Coach Sat, and he just had a presentation and we watched some film, and just how versatile the offense is. He showed how aggressive we're going to be running the ball, and how he wants guys, even the receivers, putting guys in the dirt, being able to block and be physical, and make teams feel us that way. And then in addition to that, we want to take shots. When we're throwing, we want to throw down field. We also have, I mean, there's so much more I could get into, but really just going into what our offense is about and appealing to those skill guys and the offensive linemen about what we want to be about. And then on top of that, I also had a meeting with Coach Sad and Coach DeMichael, just alone watching our own film. This week, I mean, I've watched a lot of film with them in the past,
Oh,
whether it's them or Coach McGuire. But a big thing about this week, we were kind of watching some of the tight end film, how we get the balls to the tight end, because we had both one uncommitted and committed tight end, and
right.
Ian, who's committed, and then Carter, who's not committed yet. But that's a big thing that we watched this week, which was a lot of fun. But yeah, we definitely watched some good film, and just continue to get a better feel for the offense. The offense, sorry.
All good. Yeah, it's funny. It's interesting though too because, like you said, it does feel like the offense appeals to a lot of different positions, and
Mm-hmm.
it's
Yep.
interesting because obviously we as in outside of you guys don't know all that much about the offense because we haven't
Mm-hmm.
seen it. Right? You guys have
Yep.
a far more advanced knowledge of what's happening right
Yeah.
now because none of us have seen it, and so. But there has been a thing where it's funny. You as a quarterback, different running backs, receivers, offensive line.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone feels like the offense is good for them, and I think that's a good sign for Nebraska moving forward with recruiting.
Yep.
But it's just
Yep.
kind of interesting to note. So, I said I'm appreciative of your time, man. And this is the last one that I'm going to get you out of here on, kind
All
of
right.
end on a fun one. I know that you guys eat a ton on these visits, right? What was the
Yeah.
best thing that you ate while you were in Lincoln this weekend?
All right. And so what's funny about this is I think it's tied.
Okay.
I would say like individual item, and it's kind of funny because this wasn't even technically, this was before the official visit even started, because
Okay.
me and my mom went down early Thursday and ate at one of the hotels, which the hotel we didn't even stay at. And it was like these duck wings, and
Okay.
they were, oh my goodness, they were freaking good. And then I think the best meal on the official visit was probably when we ate in the stadium. There was like a big kind of like how do I say, kind of like buffet style of like a
Mhm.
lot of different things. But the coolest part, there were like unlimited lobster tails. So I ate a
Okay.
lot of lobster tails. I'm a big seafood guy, so I think that was probably the best meal we ate.
Nice. Yeah, that'd be good to go. Man, unlimited lobster tails on the official visit. Nebraska doing it right
Yeah.
on that one. But hey, man, Danny, I definitely appreciate you taking the time out, man. You have a great rest of the week. For you guys watching out there, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel so you get these videos directly into the feed. Also, pop over to InsideNebraska.com. We have full visit coverage and reaction from the weekend. We'll also have more coverage as commits start rolling in throughout the week. We will catch you guys later.